Hey, I'm Adriana, and when I was in middle school, I was in the band. Now, if you've ever been in a band, then you know just how important the band leader or conductor is. When you're in a band, one of the most important things is to work together towards the same goal, and the conductor or the band leader helps you do just that. They guide the musicians to make sure that everyone is working together on a single piece of music. Because when you're not, things start to fall apart. I mean, you can picture it, right? Actually, let me just show you what I mean.
All right, we're playing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star on my count of 3. Here we go, and a 1, 2, 3, and twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder, whoa, you are up, guys, wait, no.
Do you see what I mean? That was a disaster. I mean, even when one person isn't working together with the rest of the group, it makes reaching the goal really difficult. In other words, it causes a lot of disunity. Now, maybe you've heard the word unity before. Unity means that everyone is working together towards the same goal. So disunity is actually just the opposite of that. It means that something has happened to keep people from being able to work together. Now, sometimes it means there's a disagreement or a conflict within a group, and instead of coming together, it breaks them apart. Even if you've never heard the word disunity before, chances are you've probably experienced it in your own life. You don't have to go to church or follow Jesus to understand this. Maybe you've experienced some disunity in your family. Maybe your parents are divorced and there's a lot of arguing in your home. That was definitely my situation when I was growing up. Or maybe you feel disunity in your friendships. I mean, a friend talks about you behind your back or leaves you out or hurts your feelings. Ugh, that creates disunity in a friendship. Maybe you've seen disunity in your community. You see that people are divided over their opinions about things like race and injustice and politics. Take a second to think about where you've seen disunity in your life this week. Was it at home, at school, on a team, in your community? Now, don't tell anyone, just remember that as we keep on talking. When not everyone has the same goal in mind, things can go wrong pretty fast. I mean, when just one person stops working together with the rest of the group, it could create some major disunity. And when that happens, we feel it. We feel frustrated with the person or the group who caused that disunity. We feel like we can't make any progress because we aren't working together. And sometimes we even decide to completely disconnect from the person who's causing that disunity. Anytime there's disunity in a group, it causes division. It disrupts the group. It can even break it up, and that is not good because no matter how much we might want to avoid it, we need other people in our lives to help us accomplish our goals. There are just some things we can't do unless we're in unity with the people around us. One of Jesus' closest friends was a guy named John. And what's cool is that John wrote down a lot of things that Jesus did and said, including a prayer where he addressed this whole idea of unity. Jesus could have prayed for anything here. He could have used his last prayers on earth to ask for whatever he wanted. Now, if I was Jesus, I might have prayed that my disciples wouldn't totally mess up sharing the message I wanted them to tell the world, or maybe that they'd be protected once I was gone. But Jesus didn't ask for any of the things we might expect. Instead, here's what he said. I'm praying not only for these disciples, but also for all who will ever believe in me through their message. I pray that they will all be one, just as you and I are one. For you are in me, Father, and I am in you. And may they be in us so that the world will believe that you sent me. Jesus chose to pray for unity. He prayed that his disciples, who were his closest friends, would work together as one. He even took it a step further. He prayed that anybody who believes in Jesus would be connected as one. That prayer includes us. Jesus prayed for our unity. Remember, Jesus could have picked anything to pray for in this moment, and he chose unity. That means that unity is a big deal to Jesus, and because of that, it should be a big deal to us too. Let's look at why Jesus wanted that unity, so that the world will believe you sent me. When people look at Christians and see disunity, they don't see Jesus. In fact, they see the very opposite of what he prayed they would be. And that kind of division definitely doesn't make them want to be a part of Christianity. Jesus knew that disunity in the church or among people who believe in Jesus would hurt the spread of his message. And he knew that there was power in unity. It has the power to bring us together. It has the power to demonstrate who God is and how much God loves and cares for each of us. Jesus prayed for unity so people could experience God's love. Now look, unity doesn't mean that we all think the same or look the same or act the same. It means that even with our differences, we choose to work together towards a common goal. And for Jesus, that goal was spreading his message and showing God's love, and that's why he prayed for unity. So let's think back to the band we talked about earlier. Not everyone plays the same instrument in the band, right? Or maybe you're on a team, but not everyone plays the same position. Or what about your youth group? Not everyone thinks the same or acts the same, and that's a good thing. Imagine how boring that would be. When you play an amazing concert together, or you win the game, or you have a great experience with your group, it's a pretty incredible feeling, and that comes from working together in unity. Now, the same is true for us as believers of Jesus. One of the big reasons we still meet together as a church today is because Jesus prayed this prayer thousands of years ago. And because of that prayer for unity, believers are able to spread his message to more people in more places. Now we can do the same. The more we work to make unity important in our families and in our friendships, in our schools, the more we will show Jesus to the people around us. And that's our goal, to live in a way that shows the people around us more of who Jesus is and how much he loves us. In a world that is so divided, unity stands out. Unity gets people's attention. Why? Because it shows that there's something greater that brings us together and that there is so much more we can do together than we could ever do alone. Unity starts with us. Jesus prayed for unity so people could experience God's love. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, it's easy to wait for someone else to create unity. We feel that disunity, but oftentimes we don't do anything to change it. But Jesus prayed that we be brave enough to be the ones who create unity so there can be peace again. And I think we can by starting with these 3 things. First, look for disunity. Is it happening at home or at school, on a team, in your community? Then, identify what's causing that disunity. When we know what's causing it, we can take a step towards changing it. And finally, create unity. Now here's the thing. You have the power to create unity when there is disunity. So what's one step you can take to create unity? Just one small step might be what's needed to start moving towards unity in that area around you. Remember, of all the things Jesus could have prayed for in the end, he prayed for you to take that step to create unity. But that doesn't always mean it's going to be easy. In fact, it might mean that you're doing something that no one else is doing. It might mean doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing because you know it's right. And the good thing is, you aren't in it alone. As followers of Jesus, we have the Spirit of God in us to help us choose unity because Jesus wants that for you no matter what. He wants that for all of us. So remember, Jesus prayed for unity so people could experience God's love.